Hello and welcome to Shak's Bass Podcast. Today I'm joined by GCJAMZZ, aka Giorgio. Absolutely delighted to have this fantastic bass player on today. How are you doing, Giorgio?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, I'm really glad that you agreed to come on. Been following your Instagram and your YouTube recently. Loads of good content. We'll get into all that. I was thinking just to start things off, if you could provide a brief backstory of how you kind of ended up what you do in the bass world, for anyone who's not aware of sort of your history.
hmm Yeah, for sure. I so I'm 29 years old now. I started off playing piano when I was like 7 or something like that. I absolutely hated it. I just remember taking my weekly lessons and never like practicing and then showing up. And then, my teacher getting mad at me, and I was like, I hate everything about this. And I started listening to Green Day, Paramore, All American Rejects, and I was like, man, I don't know I didn't know what it was at the time, but like whatever the bass was doing, I wanted to do that. So ended up taking bass lessons and dropping piano, and did that for about a year when I was younger. Completely dropped music after a year. Like it wasn't cool where I lived. Like everybody was playing like football and like lacrosse and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go try to play sports. I sucked at sports. That was such a huge mistake. And then I kind of just stopped playing music for like all of the rest of my childhood. I went to college. I went into corporate America, and like I always had like a bass laying around. So like at my parents' house, like if I ever came back to visit, like I would pick it up and be like, oh yeah, like I'd slap a little bit and put it back down, and I was like, okay, whatever. Um, and then at the age of 27, so 2 years ago, I started to really not like what I was doing in corporate America. I was doing corporate sales, like always chasing a quota and kind of doing the whole like rat race of corporate America. And I was like, I really need something outside of work besides jujitsu to keep me like sane. I was going crazy, and I started taking bass lessons. Again, I was like, all right, let me kind of get back into this. It'll be something fun to do, and that snowballed into going to open mics, snowballed into joining like a band with a bunch of people from the music school I went to, and then joining like six bands, and then now I'm playing in this like wedding and event band that I'm in now, and that's 2 years later, and now I don't work in corporate America anymore, and I just play bass for a living, so that's
That's
where I'm at.
awesome. How have you found that transition from going like sort of full time office style or whatever sales into the musician sort of full time? Because I think a lot of us, most of us, kind of hobby musicians firstly, and then we kind of either look to make that jump. And a lot of people think, oh, can I pay the rent and stuff for doing it? And I just wonder, like, was that a scary transition for you, or you kind of got to the point where you're just done with it and it's just not about money? You need to just be happy yourself.
It's funny that you ask that because like I had no plan as this was all happening. Like I never like made a real conscious decision to be like, yeah, I'm done with this. What happened was, and like I kind of talked about it a little bit in like a YouTube video I did recently, but like as I started getting more entrenched in bass and like really falling in love with it and joining all these bands, and then finally joining this more serious like wedding and event band that gigs like 150 times a year, like it was like, all right, I'm gigging so much, and I found myself making a livable wage, and at the same time, um, I got let go from my corporate job. Like it was the first time that ever happened to me at the age of 29. So it was like I would like to say that it was like, oh yeah, like I made this like decision and all this stuff, but that's not how it went down whatsoever. Um, I just, yeah, it kind of like just happened for me. And looking back, like it really did work out in the best way possible because I was so miserable. I was making great money, like, and like to touch on like what the transition has been like. When I worked in corporate America, it was nice because I could buy all the nice basses and I was like a hobbyist musician. And now, like, I joke, but like, I'm definitely making way less money, and I'm like hanging on to the basses I have, and I don't have the luxury of like walking into Guitar Center or like some bass store or just going on Sweetwater and being like, yeah, let's get another ding wall, like with a commission check. Like there's no commission checks anymore. It's a lot less steady. Um, but I'm so much happier, so it's like a trade-off, I guess.
Yeah, I think the I like the idea of just kind of having to scale back though. I mean, I sold a load of bases recently because I just realized I just didn't need them all, and I'm not playing like and gigging or anything at the moment, just doing stuff like original things with friends and recording and stuff and doing the YouTube channel. But I was kind of like, I like the idea of just going, if I could just have three bases, what would they be, and kind of cover all bases with those. So I suppose that's a nice new challenge as well. And sometimes it's like, it's good to be kind of limited in a way because sometimes it's like option anxiety. If you got 12 bases, which one do you take and stuff. Whereas if you just like go, I'm just going to use a P bass or a jazz bass, and you really live and breathe that instrument for a few months, I think that's better for your playing in some ways. Have you had that experience?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like it's a blessing in disguise too, because like you said, and I think Ian Trustheim, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. He made a video about it recently, like bass monogamy. Like there's something to like which I was not in the I was very bass polygamous. Like I was bringing different basses to every gig, and like what I found was like I would never have like a consistent sound, and that's fine, I guess, but like I could kind of feel that my band wanted like a reliable sound. Like my output levels were always changing. They'd have to gain stage my bass all the time. Like I found myself making a lot of mistakes too, because when you go from I'm pointing over here, I have a Gibson Grabber and my Rickenbacker, something like that, 4 string, to like showing up to a gig with like a 5 string Dingwall D Rock, like there's something to just getting used to a bass, and I'm actively working on doing that now. Like the D Rock is really my gigging bass, but yes, to answer that question, like yeah, there is something really nice to that, and I'm shedding the herd too. Like I'm going from 10 down to like about 3 or 4 like real reliable basses that I want to get really used to, like you were saying.
Yeah, and it's not just the ergonomics because people might think, oh, is a different scale length, an extra string, or things like that. It's also just the tone you get out of an instrument. Like when you're really focusing in on, say like a P bass, it's completely different to a jazz bass. I know you can kind of do the P bass thing, but when you're kind of doing the jazz bass thing, like there's stuff on my P bass that just doesn't sound right, but it will sound great on the jazz and vice versa. So when you really learn that instrument, you kind of go, it's not it, you know where to place your hand, you know how hard to hit it and all that sort of stuff. So you really dial that sort of stuff in when you put hours and hours and respond to the instrument using your ear basically. And I think that's another benefit really, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah, like knowing how hard to dig in with each instrument, it sounds so different. It responds differently. Like digging into like a Rickenbacker is like complete. Like it just gives a totally different sound too. But yeah, and it's like outside of ourselves. Like if I'm gigging and like I'm giving a different sound every time, like I don't know, like it kind of feels selfish in a way. It's like I think I need to provide a more consistent sound for the rest of the band, like that they don't have to always be like, oh yeah, turn them down, turn them up, or like, why is it so scratchy in my in ears? Well, this bass has more upper mid range. Like they don't care about that. You know what I mean? They just want me to
Yeah.
show up and like play. Like so, yeah,
Yeah. I think as well, it's like we as like sort of bass geeks get into that detail of all the tone differences and pedals and stuff. But really, most people who aren't bassists, they just want that consistency, and it's the performance that they need. You're playing the right notes with the right feel, the right groove. You're locking them with the drummer, and they notice maybe when you kind of something's not giving them that confidence, and they're not bothered about these tiny little microtonal changes. It's really about just nailing the gig sort of thing, isn't it?
yeah, totally. Like I showed up to a gig recently with like flats on my Super P1 or SP1. I always call it the wrong thing. There's like so many weird names for basses. And during sound check, like I could feel like the sound engineer was like, he's like, it's so like muddy, like, but it's just change. It's too much change. It's like sometimes you just need to. The D Rock works for me. So like I know this is like something we'll probably talk about more, but it's like, all right, I know that gives a good consistent sound with regular round wounds on it. Like just show up and play with that, and that's all I need to do for now. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So while we're talking about bases, then we'll do the first, last, best, worst. So I'll take each question in turn. So I think I might know this because I watched one of your videos recently. But what was your first bass, and do you still have it?
I do still have it. I wish I was home to show it. It's usually like right here on the wall. It's a four-string Squire jazz bass. And
The
like
red one, is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that cherry red. When I was taking piano lessons as a kid, I walked into a guitar center and I like just saw that bass and I didn't know. I thought it was like the bass. So that was my first bass. Um, and I'll just never sell that just based off of like principle. I think it's cool to like hang on to that. Um,
Yeah, definitely. So what's the last bass you bought? So the most recent one you've bought?
I have it right here. I'll actually pull it up. It's already dinged up. So, um, this
Oh,
is the
nice.
most recent bass I bought. It's a 76 Rickenbacker. Um, this was 2 days ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
I, so I walked into Guitar Center. This is not, I wish I could make this up, but I walked in to get a stand because the D Rock doesn't sit on like a normal stand that holds the bass by like the butt of it. It needs a neck holding, you know.
Yeah,
So
I
I
know what you
walked
mean.
in and like looked around at the bass section. And I just saw this on the wall, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna play it." And then I went home. I didn't buy it, and then I went back the next day and I bought it. So this is the most recent bass.
That's awesome. I've still not played a Rickenbacker. I was really tempted to get one, but then I
Mhm.
kind of started seeing all these videos, including yours, of the Gibson Grabber G3, and I was like, I need that tone. So like that's my most recent purchase. I've been absolutely loving it.
You
But
got a
I've still,
G3?
yeah, I got a G3
Oh,
recently. Yeah, in 75, I think it is maple, really light as well.
oh,
It sounds
nice.
amazing, but it had like a bit of a crack in the nut when I bought it, so I've been having to do a bit of work on it to get it up to scratch. It needs restringing and stuff, but almost there with it. But it's awesome. Love the tone. That aggressive sort of three pickup thing is just no, you can't get that sound on anything else. I've tried to replicate it with a jazz bass, but you can't get it. I just love that meaty tone.
Totally, totally. And it's it's funny because I had like a custom bass made. It was a five-string G3, and it kind of did the thing, but like there's nothing like the Gibson like four-string original buck and a half. Do you have it strung up in EADG or did you do it in BEAD?
Yeah, it's just standard tuning, but with that extra sort of scale length, I'm not sure whether to put it in D standard. So like, I like having a bass there that's like for metal and down tuned. I've never done the BAED thing because I've just always worried about making the note bigger and all that sort of stuff. But I like
Yeah.
one of my favorite bands is Death, so to have a bass in D standard would be like quite good. So I could just jam along to symbolic, but I've not done it yet.
Oh yeah. That's the thing too. Like the even having a string in like having that strung up in low B. We're getting so off topic already, but like
No, it's
it's
all right.
so
It's good.
like yeah, like the it holds so well. Anyways, yeah. So my most recent bass that I bought is the Rickenbacker.
That's awesome. I think what I'm scared to try one out because I think I'm going to play one and then I'll have to buy one. So I'm avoiding playing one for that reason.
It's I never played one either, and I didn't because everyone was like, "Oh, like something about like the action is so high, but like it's going to be hard to see." I picked this up off the shelf, and it's so. I mean, it's definitely hard to like tell, but it's so low on this. The guy whoever set
Really?
it up before, yeah, like I was like, "All right, now I have to buy it." Like, um, I didn't think I was gonna like it. Uh, but that's a weird thing too. Like sometimes you don't think you'll like a bass, and then you actually pick it up, and you're like, "Oh wow!" And vice versa. You think you're gonna love a bass, and then you play it, and you're like, "Ooh, not for me." That was the grabber for me. Like I'm selling it today actually, but you know,
Yeah, I've not played the grabber. It's like a more aggressive P bass, isn't it? What was it that you didn't kind of get on with the grabber? Is it kind of like you can get that tone from a P bass and you kind of don't need it, or
I just don't know. I like there wasn't really anything that I loved about it. Like it's
yeah?
very, it doesn't sit right. Like I'll show you the. They do this weird thing like where they put the strap lock here and for
Yeah,
like, and it's the same on the G3, but
G3, yeah.
like the sound and the tone is like monstrous with the G3. With this, it's like, yeah, it sounds like a P bass to me. Um, I don't know. I can't even put it into words. There was nothing I like really loved. Like it's a very I don't know. It just didn't sound as great as a G3 did, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna put up with like the bass sitting like this,
Yeah.
and it's so yeah. I can't even. I don't know. It's just not for me.
Mm.
And like in a different way, like I picked up the Rickenbacker and I was like, this is for me. Like this is so for me. Um,
Yeah. You
but
go through phases as well, don't you? Like sometimes I'm like, I'll really sort of be into my hollow body and I'm like, oh, you can't get a better sound than this with flats and that's all I want to use. And I'll try and use it on every song. And then, but then I'll really get into a P bass. But then the more I do that, I'll be like, oh, I've missed my jazz bass now and I want to get that out. And they are something special about each one, I think. And either you take to some or you don't to others. But it is nice
totally.
just to be able to kind of have a little bit of choice. Like I stripped it down to a hollow body with flats, a P bass with flats, and a P bass with rounds, jazz bass, and then I got the G3. I was meant to have stopped, but the G3 videos just kept on coming on Instagram and YouTube, and I was like, I tried deleting the reverb app for a couple of weeks, and the pull was too strong, so I ended up buying one.
Did you buy yours online or did you get like? How did that go?
So I couldn't find one that I wanted. There was one in Wales, like which is 4 or 5 hours drive from me, but it was really heavy, and I didn't want a heavy one. I like light basses. Then I
Hmm.
found one on Reverb from the States, and I was going to get it shipped in. So I pulled the trigger. I just was like, I'll go for it because it was in pretty good condition. But I was worried about import duty and tax and all the cost of that. And then about a day, no, it was the weekend I ordered it, Saturday morning. And then the Monday morning, one went on Vintage Bass Room, like in the UK, for similar price in similar condition. And then I was like, oh, what have I done? Like, so I quickly emailed them on Reverb. Luckily, they hadn't picked up the order yet because it was the weekend, and they put the refund straight through. And I bought this other one, so I could have ended up with two because
Oh my
I'd
gosh. Okay.
literally paid on Reverb, and then I had to just pull some money out, and then paid for this other one. So I've basically just dropped 5 grand in a couple of days. But
Oh
luckily, I
man.
got the refund on Reverb, and then I got this one from Vintage Bass Room, which needed a bit of work, but I'm almost there with it. But I just don't want to rush it because it's like it needs restringing. I want to change the bridge saddle screws and the nuts.
Mhm.
I'm still fixing the nut and stuff, but what I have played on it, I've really enjoyed it and stuff. So, if you get like what year's yours? Your G3? Have you got two?
The neck and the body are different. I always mix it up. One is like in the 80s and one is because it has the clear pickup. So I don't remember if that's like the 70s thing or the 80s thing.
I think
But I
that's
do know.
70s possibly.
Okay, so I think so. Then the body is like 70s, and then the neck is because the old neck had issues, so someone replaced it with a newer neck, and um, but yeah, so it's like a little hodgepodge of both. But that's smart.
Cool.
I didn't get mine set up properly, and I did the nut by myself, which was I don't know what I'm doing. Like I
Well,
strung it
that's
up
what
and
I've
beat.
ended up doing. I've completely messed it up the first one, and then
Exactly.
I had to buy another one, and then I've kind of got it passable, but it needs to go to a luthier. I'm scared of like kind of dropping off like a really expensive guitar with someone I don't trust, and if something happens to your bass, like while they're working on it, there's not really that many reputable people near to me, and it's going and dropping it off, and so I did just bodge it myself for now, but it could
That's what I
definitely
did
be
too.
done better.
Oh, I totally get that. I totally get that. Um, yeah. So sorry. This was a whole tangent that started from my last bass.
Yeah,
So.
no, it's all right. So we'll go for what's the best bass you've ever played?
Um, the best bass I've ever played, like a four string that I don't. If I like played in a band where it wasn't like a wedding band that I need to play like Uptown Funk and then play all these different genres, it would be the G3
Okay.
just for the sound. The weight is great. It's just that's like the best feeling four string sounding bass, and it's just so cool. Like you hold it and you feel like I don't know. There's it just makes you play different. It makes me play different.
Yeah.
Um, but then like for what I do, the D Rock is. is the bass. And I do it in the pickup configuration where it's like all three, but it's like two plus one kind of thing. It gets a good versatile bassy sound that I can build off with all the other pedals and stuff like that.
Yeah. What's the weight like on your D-Rock? Because I remember playing one, but it was quite heavy, I thought. But is it heavy?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't. It's probably like just under. If I had to guess, like just under 10 pounds. So like
Okay.
moderate.
Yeah. For a five string
It's yeah. I love the way it sits. Like it sits very like at 45
upright.
degrees. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like the Dingwall does that so well. So like I really like the ability to play the neck like this instead of like reaching out in a way.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so it's just like a comfort thing. It is a bit heavy the more you like think about it, but I do like the way it sits on my body.
Yeah, that's cool. So going from your best bass, what's the worst bass you've ever played?
Uh, I really like. I feel bad saying this, but like I just never any Fender like pretty much any Fender bass just has never sat right with me. I just feel like I'm supposed to like it, but I don't, and I don't know why. Is it like a feel thing? I don't know. I've had like the 5 string um P basses, 5 string jazz basses, even their 4 string like P basses. I just never I don't know. It never just sat right in my soul, man. I just never sat down with one and I was like, oh my God, I love it. I gigged a 5 string P bass for a long time, like 5 months, like which is a long time for me. That's like dog years.
Yeah.
Like, that's like 8 years in my short attention span brain of using a bass. But like, yeah, I just never loved any Fender bass that I've picked up. I always end up selling it quick and it's just not for me. But so many people love it. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get what's comfortable, what's right for you, haven't you? It's kind of, it's one of them things. It's totally personal taste, and what feels comfortable for some people doesn't to others. And you resonate with a certain sound that comes out of certain instruments, and not with others. I think so. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's cool. I didn't expect you to say that. That's quite surprised, but it's a bit of a sort of controversial one, isn't it? For I suppose because they're so popular, aren't they? It's like everyone
Yeah.
plays them, and most basses are based off their design. But I mean, I've found with Fender, it's very hit and miss. Like you've got to because they are just like mass produced and like a lot of bases, but I think you can find really good ones and ones that aren't great, but if you don't like the design per se, you're not just not into them. I suppose that's different, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I feel like if I'm gonna play something that's a little bit less comfortable than like a Dingwall, and I want something like that, I would just reach for my like G3 or like some sort of Gibson bass, like in a 4 string fashion, or the Rickenbacker. Honestly, I just yeah, just never. I don't know. And that's like I'm probably wrong. Like you know what I mean? Like it just never resonated with me.
Yeah, no, I get that. As well, it's like with the G3, I've found that I just love the kind of aggressive sound you get out of it. Like it really takes, like drive well, and it just cuts through, but not in a harsh way. It's kind
Hmm.
of, you can always hear yourself when you're playing with that sort of tone, but it's not like like I don't know if you find this, but sometimes when I'm playing with a P bass on its own, I don't love the sound. It's like it's got to be in the context of a band for me to like it. Whereas with the G3, I can sit there and play for like 2 hours and just listen to that sound and love it. But it has the same effect of cutting through a mix. Do you ever find that?
I do. Yeah, like 100%. Like I love playing my G3 on its own, but then in the context of the band, it also sounds good, which is really rare. It's usually one or the other for me. Like something will sound great on its own and then just disappear in the mix. But the G3 is present in both, and it sounds good in both, which is like I don't know if there's another bass for me that does that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, So moving on to sort of like bass playing then. So I've seen a lot of the videos of your band on Instagram and YouTube. Absolutely fantastic and so tight the band. What I love about it as well is you can tell you're all having fun. And sometimes I think people forget to have fun when they're playing music. They're just dead serious and they take it dead seriously. And I just think it's fantastic to see, your drummer smiling, the guitarist smiling, your singer doing funny stuff. Like, that is great. I'd love to watch a band like yours live. It really captures that spirit of enjoying music. So one of the questions I had was kind of around, you do a lot of these sort of wedding gigs and that. What's the length of a typical wedding gig for you in terms of a set length?
Um, the wedding gigs are not bad. Like it's great because like the wedding gigs were the highest paying for us, and then like the least amount of playing, like maybe an hour and a half
Oh, really?
with
That short?
breaks. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe like maybe 2 hours altogether
Yeah.
with all the breaks and stuff. But then on the opposite side, it's like when we play casinos, that stuff is like more than 3 hours of playing. Shorter breaks, like, and it's usually really far away, so it's you know, same with like bar gigs. So, but yeah, like with weddings, it's the least amount of playing, and like we get paid the most, so it's kind of
Okay.
the best. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's your band actually called?
The band is called Audio Riot.
Ah, okay. Because I never seen that on any of your. I never knew what you're actually called. I've just seen the clips of, you know.
Yeah, I toe this line with like I don't want to, because like my like brand is like just really base stuff. So I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how much I want to, involve
Expose
like,
the.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
sometimes like some of the stuff I post can be a little like raunchy, a little bit
yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
I don't know, it's not the same brand as like our wedding band is trying to book wedding clients. Like I'm just making fun of like bass trends and stuff, and
yeah. I get
so
that.
I kind of intentionally leave it like separate like that for the most part. But yeah, no, it's yeah, we have fun, man.
So, do you use any chord sheets or do you memorize everything? Because they're like long sets. If you play like a casino gig, you're playing for like 3 hours. You've memorized it all.
Yeah. I like to not look at anything on the stage. So I have it all memorized, and by now, like if we're gonna add a new song, like I feel like I've developed a good enough ear where like it'll be pretty quick to like learn it. Like but so yeah, so not looking at anything, going off of memory for the yeah, for all of it.
That's awesome. And what would you say your favorite song to cover is in a sort of function band context?
Uh Anything where I can use the big booty Judy. So like
That sounds amazing. That I don't know if it was on this clip, but when you did that Backstreet Boys, I was like, that sounds amazing. I really love that, and really tight you're playing as well. That's
thank
one of
you.
my favorite clips of yours on Instagram. That it got me learning it. I was like, what a cool song from the 90s.
Yeah, like it's kind of like a joke between me and the guitarist for like now we because like we play the same we play the same songs just like any other band like every single gig, and like it's like all right, how can we make this more fun? And it's like if you turn the Big Booty Judy on in any song that it's not like supposed to be on, like a R&B or like a rap type of song or something like that, it just makes it so much heavier. So like he'll throw
Yeah,
his distortion on, I'll put the Judy on, and we'll just make it metal or rock or whatever. So
yeah, that,
um but
yeah.
yeah,
Go,
like
go on, sorry.
any
Yeah, your favorite song then. So what would you say?
um just Sugar We're Going Down. Just
Oh,
simple,
awesome.
just slamming on the strings, just it's such a basic answer, but like I really love just digging in and just playing like dun, 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 dun. That's it. That's makes me happy.
Yeah, I've seen some of the clips of you doing that. That sounds really good. Really into
Thank you,
that.
man.
Yeah, so like I say, I think the band's fantastic, and I love the fact that you're because with my sort of content, because I'm not out there gigging, I don't get to kind of show the actual art of performing. I'm kind of just in a bedroom, so I miss that sort of like just being on stage. And on all your clips are like doing these gigs, like the one you were doing on the beach the other day. I was like, God, I'd love to be doing that now, because
I
I'm
was
like,
like, I
I'm
was
not
so
doing all
happy.
these
Like,
gigs. Was that a good gig? Yeah.
yeah, that was a fun. gig. That was like a private event type of gig. So similar to like a wedding. It was like not so much playing, good pay. We show up, we get to be on the beach. Um, but like for every one of those gigs, there's like four where we're like driving 2 hours and like in a casino till 2 a.m., like doing something like that. But that was just that made me very happy to play on a beach with no shoes on, you know, noodling around. I was like, this is what I do this for. Like this was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great clips on that. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you, because you're from New Jersey, how
Hmm.
far is Lodi from you, where the Misfits are from? Because I'm a big Misfits fan. I was just wondered.
Wow. I didn't know they were from Lodi.
Yeah.
The the piano player in our band is lives in Lodi. That's so funny. Um,
Okay.
I live down by the beach in New Jersey, so the Jersey Shore, like where that was filmed, I literally live there.
Okay.
Um, but Lodi is like 45 minutes away. Like from the top of New Jersey to the bottom is like 2 hours. So like I'm right in the middle. Lodi's at the top of New Jersey.
Okay, cool. Is it mainly New Jersey where you play, or do you kind of like go to down to New York and the other states or anything?
I'd say like 70% in New Jersey, and then like Pennsylvania's like inland. So we have like we're gonna do a wedding on Saturday. At the time of this recording, it'll be on Saturday. Um, like at 2 hours that way. We're gonna play in the city next Wednesday. So like a little bit like mostly in New Jersey, but sometimes in New York, sometimes in Pennsylvania for like events and casinos and stuff like that too.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
going to move on to the favorite things section.
Okay.
So I've briefly shared some of these, so you could just have a little look over. I'm not going to hold you to any; they don't need to be your absolute favorite, but just one of your favorites for each one. So the first one is favorite travel destination.
Um, Either Aruba or Greece. Just like Aruba's great because like I've only been there like twice, but I love just going and sitting on a beach and doing nothing.
Yeah,
And then my family's from Greece, so uh, they all like live over there still, so it's cool to go and like see them. But yeah, those are my two travel destinations.
awesome. Have you been over to Greece a fair bit then?
Yeah, like we used to go every summer and stay for like a month at a time, like back when I was like little and stuff. I haven't been in like 5 or 6 years, but yeah, got to get back there.
Yeah, it's great. I've been to Santorini a few years ago. That's a really nice place. But yeah, I'd love to go back.
Oh, it's there's nothing like it. We're gonna do our honeymoon there in like a year, so um,
Awesome.
I can't wait for that. Yeah.
That's great. What about favorite bass strings?
Um, I don't. I wish I had the set with me, but I work with Stringjoy and they send me 5 string sets, and whatever they are, I think they're nickel plated. They're just regular rounds. They hold their like clank really well, which most other bass strings that I've played would only last like 2 weeks to a month. Um,
Mm.
my D Rock has had them on for like 2 months at this point, and they still sound like great. Um, Normal gauge, everything. They're just round mounts from Stringjoy, and yeah, they work for me.
Cool. I'll have to try some. I've never tried string draw strings, so I've seen them about, but yeah, I always
It was
stick
the
with
same for me. Like
guitarists.
never,
Yeah,
yeah, never tried them. You know, and yeah, they work. So,
cool. What about a favorite bass line?
um, I have two. So I have a tattoo for my favorite song. It's "Ain't It Fun." But
Oh,
that's
awesome.
yeah, and it's like the bass line in that is so good. The fills that Jeremy Davis did in there, like all of his pentatonic fills through the song. Um, I won't play it right now. I like almost just reached for the bass, but like, anyways, that the outro of that, of course, the slap section is great on the G3. But
Yeah.
there's a older song from Paramore, the second verse of My Heart. Um, I think it's from their album All We Know Is Falling. It's like this very melodic thing that I believe Jeremy was the bassist that recorded or did this, but second verse he like does this first, third, fifth thing and walks down. It's so beautiful. and it doesn't take over like what the melody and the singer is doing in that part. Um, so those are like my two, but probably the My Heart bass line is just so good.
That's awesome. I'll check that out after this.
Yeah,
Put it on the
it's
list.
so good.
What about favorite bass player?
That would be Jeremy. I always mess his line. I should know this better. It's Jeremy Davis, right? Or I used to say
Yeah, I
Jeremy
think so.
Stevens. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jeremy Davis. Okay. He doesn't. Unfortunately, he doesn't really play bass anymore. Like he went off and did this whole like rap career. That's a whole other topic. Um, but when I was little, that's how I found out about like what a G3 sound is. Of course, with like Mike Dirnt too. But
yeah,
uh, yeah, Jeremy Davis's like pentatonic fills. It taught me how to place fills where like I was like, okay, so put fills where nobody is speaking. I was like, got it. Okay, like I shouldn't be like noodling while like the singer's trying to like find their notes and stuff.
yeah,
Which kind of goes back to like Ain't It Fun? Like he does like that one where it's like do 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 like perfect placement. Um, yeah, tone. I also love about him too, and I'm not like I'm not trying to like call him out, but like I watched them playing in I think it was Reading in like 2013.
yeah.
Any live performance I've seen of him playing, like he makes mistakes, and I'm like, oh, I was like, oh wait, like it's
He's
okay to make
human.
mistakes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, this is so cool, like because I make mistakes, I make tons of mistakes when I play, so I was like, dang, like this guy is playing in front of tens of thousands of people with like the biggest band at the time, and he's missing notes or he's like kind of like getting fret buzz, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm good. Like it just everything he did, his bass playing, his tone, the B7K I think he used, like all of that, the sound, his playing, the fact that he made mistakes. I was like, I love this guy. I was like, like I get it. I love all of it. So
yeah.
yeah.
I think that's when I was younger, I was definitely more hard on myself around getting the perfect performance and not making mistakes and things like that. And I'd really, be annoyed about it, come away from being annoyed about missing something, a fill, or going into the wrong part. But
Hmm.
now I think it's with age as well. I'm just kind of like, so what? Just get on with the gig. Just, don't let it show and just don't make it next time. Just relax a bit. But I think that comes with age and perspective, looking back.
Totally, totally. Like it used to really bother me, like when I first started playing like professionally, like I would like count how many mistakes I would make a gig, and then like I would do this weird thing where I'd go like watch someone like that, and I'd be like, okay, they made like seven, so I can't make more than seven. Like that's such a bad mental headspace to be in, and I used to live in that.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing, but yeah, I just appreciated that like one of the most famous bassists of all time was like up there just playing so great, and also like he was human, like
Yeah.
so.
Absolutely. What about a favorite bass effect?
um like the most practical effect for me, I have two, and it's on my pedal board that I sent over to you. But the one is the Big Booty Judy. In terms of like a true effect, I
Mm.
use it so much. It's just it just works so well with like every bass that I've used, passive, active. It makes every song so much more fun. Like we were talking about, like I can use it on a like any type of genre, and
Yeah.
suddenly it's just way more interesting. But that, and then in the Microtubes X Ultra, there's a low end compressor, like specifically, and I set it to like 450 or 500 hertz. So like the low end is just like a brick for me. Um, and I really, really like that in my playing. And a lot of the sound engineers that we like work with like that too, so that it's a really consistent, even sound. And then any distortion or stuff like that, I'll have it just affect above that,
Mm.
so that it keeps a real good consistent bass sound in the venues or wherever we're playing. Um, yeah.
Awesome. What about a favorite album?
Um, I would probably say All We Know Is Falling, because that's what, again, I think that's where my heart is. Like the song My Heart, not like my like
Yeah.
my heart. Um, and then Riot was great too. That's where like Misery Business came out in, and I think Crush was in that. Like all those kind of like more mainstream like Paramore songs that are just so much fun to play. Um, yeah,
Awesome. What about favorite film?
it's like I had to think. I was like, I don't even know the last time I watched like a movie, and like but now that this is off the cuff, I didn't even think of this one, but I really love the Alien versus Predator series. I'm also a huge. Well, I have this theory that all bassists are Godzilla nerds. I don't know why. I don't know why, but all of us like you see that too on Instagram and stuff. Like every bassist I follow, like will
Yeah.
post like weird kaiju and Godzilla stuff, and I'm like, why are we all like this? Why are we all nerds, man?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like Alien versus Predator, Predator stuff, like all that stuff. I'm like such a nerd about. It's so. But so are all the rest of the bassists that I know. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't know
Yeah, I
why.
know. It's a weird crossover.
It is a weird crossover.
What
Needs to
about
be studied.
it does, it does. What about a favorite pickup configuration?
Um, that would be the G3 buck and a half, right in the middle with the toggle sound. Just nothing beats that. It's
Yeah, yeah. Do you
yeah.
always have that all three on then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the back two, I think it loses a little bit of like the low end that I need, like if I'm gonna play it live. The front two sounds good too, but just the buck and a half, like it's just so good. And then like similar but different on the D Rock is like it has because there's the three pickups. Like the bottom two are in series, and I think it brings the top one in parallel. So that's my other like usable favorite. But the G3 3 like that is yeah.
Yeah. I think that's mine now. It wasn't until I bought one, and now it's definitely that. Do you have a favorite bass brand? Or if you had to
Yes.
choose a brand that you really like that do bass stuff, what would it be?
Yeah. For modern stuff, Dingwall, like just they make the most the best sitting best sounding like modern bass kind of stuff. But if I want to play like something older, it would be Gibson just for like the G3 and um I've never played a Ripper. Have you?
No, I was looking at getting one of them, but then I was kind of like, it's not quite the sound I was going for. I was looking at
Yeah.
the Grabber, the G3 Grabber, and the Ripper, and I was kind of going through the whole sort of vintage Gibson thing and reading about and watching every YouTube video, and then listening to all these like tone demos and stuff. And I thought it was the Grabber that I wanted originally, because I seen a couple of clips where it just sounded unreal. But then the more I kind of dived into it, I was like, no, but it doesn't go far enough in terms of the aggressiveness. And I realized it was that three pickup thing was the sound I was looking for. But yeah, I've not. Have you played a Ripper?
I haven't either. Um so I would love to because I think that was like their take on like a jazz bass type of thing, right? Because it's got the two
Yeah,
pickups.
yeah,
I know the this grabber like with the movable pickup is like the P bass thing. Yeah, I've never played one, but yeah, Gibson would be my favorite like older, I guess type of bass brand. But also like I just don't get them too. Like they'd make a lot of weird decisions like with this whole like G3 reissue stuff, like the reissue they did in the 2000s with like those ugly pickups, and
wasn't even like the
I don't,
original.
yeah, I don't know if they're just messing with us at this point or what. Like I love their basses. I don't know where their where their heads at, but beggars can't be choosers. So
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's so bizarre that they stopped making those like three bases because they're like some of the best bases that like now that I'm kind of aware of them. For years I wasn't aware, but there's been a bit of a resurgence of them. I can't understand why they ever stopped making them.
I don't know
I
either.
mean, they sound amazing. The design's absolutely brilliant. It's not like just a weird thing that kind of didn't work, and it might not have sold well at the time, but I reckon it would now. I mean, I think they are bringing out an Epiphone Mike Dirnt one, aren't they, at some point? Because I've seen him with his sort of prototype and that. But even the Epiphone reissues haven't been like the original Gibson ones. There's been weird things about them, like you can't move the pickup, or there's
Yeah.
something different about it. So it's just they've just not nailed it, have they?
No, yeah, they definitely haven't. That was like the craziest thing to reissue a bass that's called the Grabber because you can grab the pickup and move it and
Yeah.
not like that would be I'm trying to think of like an equivalent for that. Like I don't even know.
It's like trying to do a P bass, but not put in the split coil, pickup in it. It would be
Yeah,
like
it's like
putting jazz bass pickups in it and saying, yeah, we've reissued the P bass. It just doesn't make sense, does it?
it's almost like they sat around there like this would be hilarious. Get this. Like we're gonna release the Grabber, but you can't move the pickup and we're still gonna call it the like so then like I was waiting for the Epiphone reissue of the G3 and then once I saw that I was like, you know what, screw you guys. I'm gonna spend whatever it was. I think it was like 2,200, US dollars on like this G3. I was like, I'm not whatever. I'm not playing this game with you guys.
Yeah.
Epiphone.
I I was gonna wait for it as well, but then I just thought, even if I get that and it's a bit cheaper, I don't think it's gonna sound as good as one that's like 50 years old, because there's just always something about an old bass that can't put my finger on it. It just sounds better. It just does. I don't know what it is. And
Yeah.
it's not even just the feel of it and the thought that it's old. Something's happened to the pickups and the wood, and it now just sounds like a bit more sort of refined.
Yeah, it's just like it's like the soul in the instrument. It sounds so like cheesy or whatever, and I'm not, I'm not like a astrology guy or whatever like that. Like I don't know, but there's yeah, it just makes you play it different. Like when I picked up a grabber, like it sounded good, like the Epiphone grabber too, but I was like, I don't play it the same as like when I'm holding like this dinged up like grabber neck or a G3 neck, like and I'm not nervous to like ding this thing on stuff like the G3, the Grabber, like this Rickenbacker, like they're all busted up already. Like there's something just so cool about that. It makes you play it different. It's just it does have soul. I don't know if it has a soul, but like you feel it when you play it. You get it.
Yeah, completely. I love that about kind of, well, old guitars or like sort of relics ones, in that, if you buy a brand new like guitar with a really nice finish in that and you ding it, you're absolutely gutted. But when it's already done, you're not bothered, because you can just go, oh, right, it's fine, because I won't even know if I did that or if it was originally on it and stuff. And then you just kind of
Yeah,
go, it's got more character for it, and you're gonna knock your headstock and stuff, like when you're gigging and stuff. Sometimes you just do your
yeah,
bass up and it falls over, and you just got to go with it, haven't you?
dude. Yeah, like this Rickenbacker, like I'm at my sister's house right now.
Oh, cool.
And like when I'm dinging it as we speak, like I'm hitting it on the chair, like and my sister like grabbed it and she like hit the headstock on the wall and like she looked at me because I told her how much I paid for it,
Yeah.
and she's like, I'm like, I don't care, but I remember someone picked up my dingwall, my green sparkly dingwall, and like when I pick it up, I'm like so like weird, like, and
Yeah.
if I hit the like I always hit the mic when I'm playing too with the headstock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, yeah, like rock and roll, like this is awesome, like let's ding it up, yeah, it's funny,
Yeah,
man.
definitely. So I think we'll go on then to the next section, which is like about bass signal chains and pedals. So you've sent me a picture of
Yeah.
your or one of your pedal boards. So I'll try and share my screen,
Mhm.
and then hopefully we'll be able to talk through the picture. It's a bit funny this, so you go to share your screen and then you just have to reopen it again. So just give us a sec.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Let's see, share. You can just let me know if you can see it, and then we can jump
Oh yeah,
into.
there she is.
Oh, cool. So, what I was going to ask you then, so if you could talk through your pedal board and then kind of what amp and cab are you using live, or what's your kind of live setup at the moment, but starting with your pedal board if you want.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Also, I would just like to highlight all the Mario and Sonic stickers. Um, I love that about my pedal board.
Yeah, I was going to
It
ask you
goes,
about that. I was like, you're definitely a Mario fan. I was going to ask you if you've seen the new Mario film, because I watched it the other day with my son. I thought it was awesome.
yeah, it's it's funny. You're like, yeah, I watch it with my son, and then me like my fully grown adult self, like bringing my fiance to go see it, and she's probably thinking like, what am I doing with this guy? Um,
Uh,
yeah,
I
I did
think he
see it.
got bored of it, to be fair, and I was watching it. I was enjoying it more than him. I was like, "Can we watch the rest now?" And he was just like, he
Yeah,
went off and did something else, you know.
that's so funny. I did see it, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's good.
So yeah, the stickers are extremely crucial for tone. No, it's just whatever. So, starting from the right hand side, I use a wireless pack at our gigs, the Shure wireless, and I use that tuner as well. I like the tuner in like a like an actual tuner pedal more because this is like I don't know, it's not as like precise. It kind of is more just like, oh, you're kind of close enough to like E or A or whatever,
Yeah.
but it gets the job done. So I go from there over to the Big Booty Judy. I kind of do things weird because I have my compression and I only compress the low end on my bass all the way set up at the end. So all my effects are first. So Big Booty Judy, that's the settings I use for it too. Like I have it flipped to the Turbo Rat. It's a more like aggressive tone in it. For me, I love that. Um, I have the blend knob to 75%. So 75% of my clean signal. The F is like the clank knob. So like I have it in the middle. Rolled all the way to the left is too clanky for in-ears. Like it's just like like all high mids and treble.
Hmm.
And then the V and the D, they work like unity gain like that. So I
Okay.
have the distortion down, but the volume on it up. Um, Ironically, the next pedal is something that I got used from Jordan Ray Landers too. There's an octave up and a fuzz. So I used that in like any EDM songs or like synth bass kind of stuff, like any Michael Jackson synth bass sounds. I'll use that.
Yeah.
Um, Girls Just Want to Have Fun has a synth bass in it, I believe, so I use it there. Um, uh, there's a ton more like songs that we use that have like synth bass in it that I use that on. Um, and then moving along to the chorus pedal, uh, just a standard chorus. I tested like four different ones out at like our local music store. This one was the cheapest and it sounded pretty much the exact same as the rest. So I was like, all right, good enough for me.
Yeah.
Um, and then that chorus goes into the Micro X Ultra, which is like the kind of the brain. Um, that's where the compression on the low end is happening. So the low comp knob, all the way on the top left, works with that really small little knob on the left hand side. I have the really small knob set to 500. The low comp is all the way up, and then the low level is like you just have to play with that to match your like unity gain with like when you're not using the pedal. And then I have always on is the EQ here. I boost the crap out of 250 and 500, and moderate boosts to 80 hertz and 1.5 thousand. Um, I like the way that the mid range pokes out when I use my D Rock with that setting, and then the like high level, high drive, and then that little tiny black knob all the way on the right. That's just basically set so that and this is like my qualm with the Micro X Ultra is that like when you use the low end compression, you have to distort a certain amount of like it's just on together. So even rolled all the way off like the high drive, um, you can still you get like an edge of breakup, which is cool, but like
Mm.
um, it would be nice to have an option with that. But and then out of that, I go into the wiretap. That's just like if any videos I post, that's just recording. Like you tap the pedal, it's recording my signal. I go out of the Micro X to front of house, and then I go out of the wiretap to my bass cab, which is a Spark cab. And that's just on stage for like if my in-ears crap out, which happens. Um, and then the only other thing here is the Thumpinator. Uh, it's still sitting on my pedal board. I don't have it plugged in, but that cuts off anything under 30 hertz. But I can't figure out a way to plug it in and like fit, so it just kind of
Uh,
sits there right now.
Yeah, I see. That's to just get rid of the really sub low frequencies, isn't it? To stop your cab sort of having to work
Mm-hmm.
harder and stuff, isn't it? I've heard about those. That's cool. So you're using the
Yeah.
DI out of the microtubes, um, and then what was I going to ask then? I had a question. Oh, cab sim. So when you record into your wiretap, is there any cab sim going into that or not?
There isn't, but I
No.
also don't use a cab sim live right now. That's
Right.
something that I want to start using because I'm just figuring. I am literally just figuring this out as I go. Like, there's no method or anything. Like, I didn't even know what a cab sim did. Like, like keep in mind, I've only been like playing again for like 2 years, so like I'm like messaging people like, what does it do? Like, what like. And from what I understand, it helps with compression. It takes off like the harshness when you. It's a good distortion sound, but when you have a clean sound, you don't want to use it. From what I get, at least. So now like I'm on this whole other path of like trying to figure out a good cab sim within that pedal, but
Yeah.
like it's just exhausting, man.
Is that to feed your in-ear monitors so that you've got more of a kind of full sound, or do you mean just to pump through? Because you're using an amp on stage, aren't you? So,
Mhm.
and what do you have a mix in your ears as well, or do you just use monitors on stage?
I use the amp on stage to feel the bass and hear it a little bit, and then I do use in ears too. So I use both.
So the whole band on in ears then for like the mixes and stuff. Yeah,
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 and nobody else brings like an amp or anything like that. I'm the only one that has something like that on stage at the moment.
yeah. I see. That's cool. Nice sort of size board as well. I like keeping it simple. I've just got like the Pedal Train Nano Plus or something. It's similar size. Everything I need really, but I've put the stomp on there for extra effects if I need them. But it's like I like limiting it to like a smaller footprint, just so that you can kind of really be strict with your decision. Like like you've committed to the big booty Judy being like your main sort of drive, and you've gone for the chorus pedal, and you've got some fuzz there. The most used effects go onto the board, don't they, and get you through the gig type thing. I think I'm going to
Yes.
end up having to order the big booty Judy because I keep hearing these clips and seeing Jordan's posts, and I'm like, I love my dark glass. I've got the Alpha Omicron. I like the tone I can get, but I don't think it's quite getting into that turbo rat territory. And with my G3, I think I need something a bit more gnarly.
Dude, that alone with the G3, oh my gosh. I just fell in love. Fell in love, man. It was like no other distortion has sounded so good with it like that. Um, but I it's gonna and that's funny because that is still my current pedal board. I've used it for like 2 months, but I have an anagram that's like coming in tomorrow. So like, and then I just got the MXR synth bass pedal because like
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a sheep, so whatever I see on social media, I'm gonna end up buying. If I see 5 posts with it, I'm probably gonna order it. Like it's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
so. We'll see if that changes or doesn't change. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Did you do any sort of recording at home with your bass or anything, or?
I just did like my first like kind of recording where I went to someone's place and like recorded live. Like so, I'm not really like a studio musician type of guy. Just the videos that I make for fun, really.
Yeah, yeah, I see. And so, in terms of like music, like we talked about, sort of Paramore, and started off from Green Day and all that sort of stuff. What are your sort of main musical influences? Would it be that, or what other types of music you into?
So I have this problem, and I've been like this my whole life. I don't know if you're the same, but I know and like 5 bands. I've liked them since I was like in 5th grade, dude. And it's just been Paramore, Green Day. I really love the All American Rejects too. Like, it's such a mainstream kind of thing to say, but them and I've recently opened my mind up to Coheed and Cambria. Um, but all the bassists are, in my mind, they do this similar thing, kind of a similar tone, more so with like Green Day and like Paramore with the G3 and P bass stuff. But even Coheed and Cambria, Zach Cooper, very melodic, very like yeah, they all do this thing where they place fills really beautifully. Um, Similar type of playing, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, it's just been those bands and bass players for me.
Yeah, cool. So in terms of like sort of how you finding the content creation game? So I think you were primarily Instagram, but then you kind of came over to YouTube. Channel's doing really well. Noticed the subscribers jumping up and the views. Like I've been really enjoying the content because I kind of found myself for a few months just getting a little bit bored of some of the sort of base content. A lot of it was quite similar, and maybe it was products I wasn't really into and that. So kind of not really found much going on. But then I really took to your channel because I like the sort of just upfront, honest nature of just kind of getting your phone out and just telling a story and just being really upfront about it. Like there's a real sense of like authenticity with it, and it's hard to find these days, you know, because everyone's playing the sort of the YouTube formula game of kind of getting people to stick around till the end of the video and doing all these long intros. And I hate all that. I'm like, just get straight into it and just be honest and just cut all the bullshit. So I love your content, and I just want to say you're doing a fantastic job.
I really appreciate, and I remember like when I first started making YouTube videos more consistent, like 2 or 3 months ago. I remember seeing your name pop up, and I was like, "Whoa, this is like so cool!" Because I had seen your videos, and I was like, "It, yeah, it's I don't know what I'm doing. Like I just started like taking bass lessons 2 years ago and started like record. I actually started like with the first video I made on my Instagram was like a guitar video. Like I started with guitar lessons for like 2 weeks, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna go to bass. Um, but it's funny that you say, and I really appreciate it, like, oh, like that you get to the point because like so you read comments on YouTube and it's like, God, this guy can't get to a point, and like I definitely draw things out as you can see by our interview today. Like I will just get off topic and talk about stuff. Um, but yeah, like it's been this weird journey, and to be completely honest with you, like right now I'm in like this. I haven't posted in a couple days. Like I'm slacking. Like I'm just taking a break for like a week at least. And as you know, it's a job, man. Like
Mm.
you know, it's like, people always are like maybe look at you funny if you say something like that, but it's like to set your phones up and like all the outtakes that you do, and then if you're doing gear stuff or like recording yourself, like it feels sometimes so like cheesy or uncomfortable, and then like editing is a whole other skill set, and then posting and playing the game, like that's a thing, like getting people to stick around and making thumbnails and the hashtags and the blah 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 and like all that. It's a lot. It really is a lot. um so I kind of find myself getting into a spot like I'm at now every like 5 or 6 months where I'm like, man, I just need like a break because like trying to post every day is like it's exhausting, man. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's totally it's hard work. I mean, I did it kind of every week for a time. I
Mhm.
kind of only just started it because I think when we had like our first child, and then I kind of just when he was a few months old, I was kind of like I need to kind of have a bit of a hobby and do something. I can't just be a dad full time. I've always loved music. I need to just keep my hand in something. I've always played in bands for years, you see, and I wasn't doing that because of lifestyle change really. And then I kind of just was just learning songs, and I posted some really bad sort of like pixelated cover of a Neil Young song, and then I just started going, oh, just put a few covers on, and then I started getting gear because I was getting more into the bass stuff, and then I was like, I'd buy something, and then like I'd want to get like a DI box, and I couldn't find a demo of it, so I'd like, oh, I'll just make a demo, and then compare it to other stuff I've got, and then sure enough, people started watching it, and I kind of never did it to kind of be a YouTuber. I kind of just did it because I quite like just making videos and editing and stuff like that. I just learned how to do video editing in lockdown, and then kind of just put that together with the bass stuff. So it just kind of snowballed, and I kind of I didn't expect the channel to get anywhere, but after a couple of years, it was kind of looking like, oh, I might actually end up getting monetized if I kind of carry on doing it, and I was enjoying doing it. But I've definitely been in that space where it's been like almost felt like too much pressure doing it every week. So then I kind of stopped and do it every 2 weeks. And then maybe I'd go, I'm just going to do one a month. And then I
Mhm.
kind of started up this podcast a few months ago just to mix it up a little bit, to do something different. Because you
Yeah.
try different things with content. Some stuff works and some stuff doesn't. And the things you think are going to work and do well, it's not what your audience wants. So like I kind of, the way I see it now is just do what I want to do and what I kind of get something out of, and that'll resonate with some people, and it'll keep me doing it because I'm not just picking out the trending thing. I'm doing the stuff that I want to say, I want to show, and then I think that does better. Maybe you don't get all the views, like I did like a demo of. I got a Nash P bass, Nash guitars P bass a while ago, and there's just no demos of them online, and so I had to put a demo up of mine, and it's hardly had any views. But I'm like, someone will want that video if they're thinking about buying that bass. Someone's going to find it in a year, 2 years. So I'm just glad that I did it.
And I can see that like happiness when you're talking about that. Like that's such a real thing. Like right, like the video that like is not going to go viral, but like is very useful to the right person. Isn't that like such a good feeling? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's just to keep yourself kind of motivated doing it. Because I have kind of got to a point where I am doing like some product demos and stuff like that, which is
mhm.
good. But like you kind of get to a point where you kind of stop buying gear because you kind of feel like you've got the drive pedal, the compressor, the multi effects. It's interesting to try new stuff still, but like when you've been through so much gear, you kind of know, you know that there might be a different flavor that comes out, but it's not going to be any better. It's just a little bit of a different flavor. And I'm kind of in that space now. I'm kind of like, I'm probably not going to buy that much gear. Like, I'm not going to get many new basses now. I'm not going to buy new pedals. I occasionally get sent stuff to review and stuff, and I'll enjoy doing that to just put stuff out for people. But I'm kind of like looking for what's the next kind of thing with my content, because I kind of want to use it as a way to create music as well. So like in demos, I'll write like a song, do some drum tracks and bass and drums and
Oh,
that
that's
sort
smart.
of
I like
thing.
that.
Yeah, like trying to get your own sort of creative passion out as well. But it's hard because it is a bass focused channel, so I can't do too much and just completely change what I'm doing. But it's kind of get a nice blend. So where are you going with your channel? Are you just kind of finding your feet and
It's funny because I'm in the same exact spot as you. Like I just I feel like there's two routes you can go. Like you can, and I watched like an interview that Bass the World did where he was like, I don't enjoy bass anymore. Like he's like, this is my job. Like he's like, I don't like play bass for fun. I'm really afraid of that because this all started out for me like 2 years ago as like I love it. And I still do, but I do feel like that wear of like I just got the YouTube channel to a point where that stuff's happening now too, where brands will reach out. And I've agreed now. I'm in this phase where I've agreed to like doing these demos. I don't know what I'm doing. Like they're gonna send them to me, and like, I'm like coming up with pricing and stuff and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, is that the direction I want this channel to go into? And like, is that going to be like authentic, right? Because I want it to be like, I want to find a way to do it where it's like still being myself and it's not like super, I don't want to say cheesy or something, but like, yeah, like I'm finding myself in this weird spot where it's like, yeah, I kind of know what I like already. I probably do want to just use like the dark. I wanted to show up to a gig with like the anagram set how I like it, or my pedal board that we showed,
Mhm.
and like, I don't know how much I want to like keep switching stuff and doing that. Um, but yeah, I just it's funny too because like on Instagram, it's the same dilemma. I know what does well. I've like there's a formula like, and
Mhm.
it's like you try a bunch of stuff out. You look back over the last 2 years of like what you've posted and what does really well. I know that when I make a video that's like, hey, learn this fill, or like, hey, like it's slipping my mind right now, but like I know which videos will do well and I could recreate, but it feels like a job to me versus
Mhm.
like I want to post me playing live more, or like me funny stuff on stage. Like maybe it won't do as well or gain me as many like I've been at the same like follower count for like 2 months now. Like which like not a big deal or anything, but it's like I'm just not playing that game of like posting what is going to get me more followers, more followers. Like I want to enjoy it too. Like I want to, you know, talk smack on my YouTube channel. I want to tell crazy stories. Like I don't know if I want to, you know, turn it into like just a gear review page. Like I don't know. And I'm like taking actually this week to just sit and think and just not like just keep going. Like I just want to take a step back and like all right, I've been doing this for like 2.5 years now, just making videos. It's like, do I want it to be like a money thing and you know try to like get as many and things like that as possible and like just post for followers because I can do that and that's fine. But like,
Mhm.
or do I just want to like talk about what I want to talk about on YouTube and then like make silly videos on Instagram? And if I lose followers or gain, or if I get 80 likes or 8,000 likes, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it does become a bit like you get a bit of pressure when you've been like sent some stuff to kind of like demo and review, and you kind of committed to like when you're going to do it by. I've got that at the moment. Like I've got a video
Yeah.
to make by like, sort of start of August, and I've just not got round to it. And I've not got any shortage of ideas for kind of YouTube content. I've got like a notes app on my phone. There's probably about 40 ideas for videos I still want to get round and do, but it's having the time, like limited time to do it with working full time and that. And sometimes I want to do the thing that's most exciting, not necessarily the thing that's been scheduled. So you kind of you don't always create your best work when you're under pressure to do something you're not necessarily in the headspace to do. So that can take its toll a little bit. But what you said around kind of sharing the content as you do and stuff, I think I said this before. It's like a good way to look at it is that you're not kind of creating content for content's sake, but you're a bass player playing in a professional band, doing gigs however many times a week. Just take your phone with you and share what you're doing. And that to me, like I think I posted on your comment and said I'd love to see like a vlog of your gigging day, because that's the stuff that a lot of people want to see. There's 100 people doing gear demos on the same thing, and they're pretty similar, but there's not that many people playing that sort of cool gig on the beach like you did, and that sort of thing. That whole thing with the bouncer getting on stage and singing a song, like I love that because that's just like totally just random stuff happens, doesn't it, when you're gigging, or even if you're backstage and or something goes
Yeah.
wrong at a gig. They're the stories people want to hear about, and that's the kind of insight. Like I loved it, you walking along to the gig with your girlfriend, and the sort of showing the dogs at home, putting Bluey on for them. That's all the great stuff. Like my son loves Bluey, he's obsessed with it, so that really makes me
Yeah.
up.
It's
But
so good, dude.
that's the quality content. That's what I kind of that's why I think your content is so good, is that it's kind of you're just doing what you're doing and you're kind of letting people see into it, sort of thing. So you should definitely keep that side of it up. But I can see that the bigger it gets, you have to make that decision around, do I want to do the demo thing? And it is fun. Like I love
Yeah.
trying out new gear and stuff, but it's kind of, I suppose, making that balance between the stuff you really want to do and the stuff that kind of pays to, get a bit of money in for to keep it
Yeah.
sustaining.
No, that was like that's very nice to hear from you, man. That really means a lot. Like like of just the kind words that you're saying, and like yeah, I think like I have an idea of like how I want to incorporate the stuff. Like I love doing like the come along with me videos, and then it's like all right, well if I'm gonna demo this pedal, it's like well I'm featuring it through the video, I'm showing myself setting it up on stage, like that kind of stuff more
Yeah,
so
yeah,
than like me sat and like going through each knob and being like that is just not me. It's just not me, like it's so yeah, I'm just kind of like taking a breather and just trying to figure it out. I don't know, but yeah, like it's funny too. You say that like because now like you'll have brands reach out and they're like, well, we have this idea and that idea, and I'm like, nah. I'm like, I don't know,
yeah,
like I don't like the idea of like someone because you'll like you have a brand reach out to you and they're like, we'd love. Just the initial email. Yeah, like we really like your content. We'd love for you to do a video like this, and it's like, just so not, you know. And I'm just honest. I'm like, hey, it's not me. I don't know if it's a good fit, like whatever. Like, um, yeah, a lot to think about. It's a lot.
yeah,
And I used to think like before I started making content for fun or whatever I'm doing now, like I was like, oh, that's like so easy. Like, what do these people have to worry about? Like, they just make videos for fun. I'm like, no, it's like a job, dude. It's like at a certain point, it's
Yeah.
like it's turning into like,
It does
yeah,
become like a proper job. Like there's so many things you need to know how to do, like with the editing and the filming, and you
yeah,
need to learn about cameras and editing, and
yeah. Oh,
just it is a crazy amount of work. I mean, sometimes I kind of say like wonder why I kind of do it because I'm like, working full time and like I could just be sat
yeah.
watching a
You
film.
have a kid? You have kids?
Yeah.
Like you have a job? Like God bless, man. Whew, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why I do it to be honest, but it's even stuff like this. But I just enjoy it. I think with the YouTube, you can always just take a pause and just go, and I'll just not make anything for a few months and that, and and that's fine, and you'll come back to it. But this sort of stuff, like I love just because there's a lot of like conversations just not really being had between people who are kind of like me and you who are like say smaller YouTubers at the moment. You're obviously a professional bass player, but like I'd see like Johnny's channel and it's only ever him just making videos, but no one ever gets to kind of ask him questions and like hear what he thinks in an impromptu thing. And that's what I kind of wanted to kind of get some of these content creators and
Yeah,
kind of just have a conversation because like we've never met before today, but
yeah.
I've been watching your content and I almost feel like I almost know your character and personality from watching the content. And
Isn't that
we
so
just
cool?
we
Like you
just
get to like
talked.
know. Yeah,
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 we just talked for like over well nearly an hour and a half. We never met before, and this is just great how we can just connect so just so easily. And so that side of it I really like.
same.
And
I
it's
love
just
that.
finding something that just keeps you, I suppose, just motivated to and enjoying it, sort of thing. I think if it ever became a point where you weren't enjoying it, you'd either stop or you'd just make it fun again.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, like it's moments like this where it's like a cool, like, if we weren't making content, we wouldn't be talking right now, like there's cool things that happen when you put yourself out there. And it is nice to like, you get to know someone through their content and you make these like, internet friends and stuff. There's really cool perks like that. Um, so it is like rewarding in that way for sure. Um, but yeah, I do love this side of it. Like it's cool to connect with like a bass player that I would have never talked to. Actually, the weirdest thing just happened at a gig too. This was like very strange. I was playing at like a casino on Saturday night. It was our fourth gig in 3 days, dude. I'm like delirious. It's like 1:30 in the morning. We're getting ready to close the set, and I still have to drive home like 2 hours. And someone like walks up to the stage with their phone, and they just pull it up and just bring it up to me like this, and I'm playing, and it was like my YouTube channel. And he's like pointing at the phone, and I'm
No
like,
way.
I have no idea who this person is. And I was like, and this was like the point where I was like feeling like I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore, like this. And then I was like, that is nuts. That's so weird. And then I was talking to him after, and he's like, yeah, like he's like, I don't know who you are. He's like, but you have this green sparkly bass, and I took a video of it, sent it to my buddy, who is a big bass nerd, and he was like, I know, I watched this guy's videos, blah blah blah. Like you have to like. So I was like, that is so cool. That's so there's weird little things that yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of keep you like. It's yeah, I love it, but it could be yeah, it's just so interesting, man. Like, there's no rule book, there's no whatever. We're just kind of like doing it as we do it. And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I
That's
don't know.
awesome. So I want to thank you for coming on. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. Obviously, I think where can people find you online? Is it just GCJAMZZ on Instagram and same on YouTube, or?
Yeah, at GCJAMZZ on Instagram and YouTube, it's GCJAMZZ on both. And then I post a TikTok too.
Oh, do
I
you? I've
hate
not
it.
seen. I'm not on there, so I've
Uh,
not seen that.
I guess that's the worst. I have like 1,000 followers. I've been posting for years there, and like people are so mean. I hate it. I think I'm just gonna. That's the one I think I'm gonna ditch. But whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
at GCJAMZZ on Instagram and YouTube.
That's awesome. So I want to thank you for coming on. It's been great. I really enjoyed it. For anyone out there, if you enjoyed the episode, please remember to like, subscribe, and rate the podcast, and also go and check out Giorgio's stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, bro.
You're welcome.